So we are in the succulent greenhouse here at Logee's with Byron, and we're just going to do a little quick walkthrough and see what they're growing in here. So I know these aren't your favorite plants. You're more of like a fruiting and flower guy, but you got some cool specimens here.
Yeah, there's Frizzle Sizzle Labuca. You can see some of these have lost their frizzle.
Yeah.
One of the things about this plant is it goes dormant at this time of year, so you would have a lot of the leaflets or the stems dying back. If you actually keep them moist, if you keep moisture on them, they'll actually can hold their foliage. And there was some thought that they lose their frizzle because they go into a dormancy and come back out of it, but that's not actually true. Some lose them, most of them don't, even after you've gone through a flower cycle. And the flower on them, which is typical of that genus, is actually fragrant. So it's an added benefit. Very easy to grow in terms of culture. Just keep it in a window with good light. Bright sunshine is good for it, and it just does it. I mean, people often stop me and say, "Oh, I still have my Frizzle Sizzle," and it's been years since they got it. So it's a.
Do you propagate these yourself?
No,
or?
This is material that I'm not sure if it comes out of tissue culture or not, but I believe there's a patent on it, and so we don't violate patents here at Logee's. We honor patents. People that.
So I just want to draw attention to under the bench, because I always love looking under the bench and what's growing. And you had a really interesting story on this one right here, right?
Yeah, this is ornithologum, and I think that's Albuca. Albuca. Yeah, same genus. I think they changed it. So ornithologum or Albuca. And this is the mother of thousands, or pregnant onion, is the common name. And it's actually also has the name of healing onion. And the leaf tissue has a kind of a sap inside of it that if you crush it, it's almost like aloe vera, I guess. It's kind of sticky and has a gooiness to it, but it has the ability to draw poisons out of wounds. And this was the plant, we've had it for years. I mean, it's a common house plant, and probably hasn't come back into vogue yet, but at some point it will. You can see it puts out these really long strap-like leaves. This is fairly low light for it. I mean, it would normally grow shorter leaves in the sunshine, but a woman stopped by quite a few years ago and had a plant. She was traveling in an RV. I think they were full-timers, so they were living in it, and gave me the plant to take care of until she came back, and she called it the healing onion, and I asked her about it, and she said in her country, which I can't remember if it was Romania or Czechoslovakia, but they use it to heal wounds in the skin. So it's where a wound gets infected and there's a lot of inflammation, it'll actually pull the poisons out. And I've used it and it actually works. So
you said it dries out really quickly, right?
Very quickly. It'll pull venom out of spider bites, cuts that maybe have gotten poison in them, and just true infections. So it's a handy plant to have around, much like aloe vera. And as I said, I've tried it several times in bad spots, and it's worked quite well. Yeah, and so a lot of these things have just escaped under the benches here. And the curator of this house, one of our growers, maintains it, weeds it, and literally these are sort of weeds, but she leaves these weeds and takes all the other weeds out and makes sure.
I love it. I think this is a Kleinia fulgens, or a scarlet Kleinia, and it's one of the ones that I grow in my southwest facing window, and I just noticed it because you have these like nice beautiful orange pom-poms. Mine were like a little bit redder, so it might be a different kind of species, but they always like put out these really beautiful shows like during the fall winter months. So and I love the gray foliage, but it's so funny because you have a bunch of it kind of growing under here.
Yeah, it's sort of got doing its own on there.
And you got some right here, you got some crassulas. I'm a big fan of crassulas, so you have a few of those right here. Yeah, that's cool. And then can I just like turn you around, because you have so many adeniums, like so many different kinds of varieties.
Adeniums are very popular, and these are grafted. These are imports from Thailand that we bring in, and Thais are really big on hybridizing this.
Yeah,
really,
huge.
really big.
And they have a really amazing selection of Adeniums. That is one that is.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
thanks to their work, and you know, they do this grafting where they're actually sticking the scion right on top. They used to do a cleft graft on it, but now they've stuck it on top. I'm not exactly sure how they hold it down, but they just hold it tight enough because it's a succulent. It doesn't need to be wrapped.
Yeah.
And then it makes this nice smooth edge to it.
And is this on an Adenium obesum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all of this is on obesum. Yeah. It's you know, this time of year, it's getting late. You're starting to see a little bit of defoliation on it. Some of the leaves are starting to turn yellow, and if you come in 2 more months, this will be pretty much bare. All the leaves will fall off. Yeah,
that's one thing that you have to be comfortable with, because in the spring and summer, the summer months, like my Adeniums are full bloom. I mean, they pale in comparison to all the different varieties that you have here. But in the winter months, you just have to be comfortable that you have a defoliated, swollen stem. So.
Yeah, right. They always come back.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah, there's some monodemia.
Monodemia. I thought these just recently got put back into euphorbia, but maybe I could be wrong.
They might have. I really haven't kept up with it. But they're kind of cool plants. I mean, you can see them putting side pups out, and they have that pretty little pink flower on it. And then we have Senecio over here. Actually, these are coming into flower right now. But this has become a very...
But they smell kind of cinnamony, I think, right?
Yeah, you pick it.
Yeah, I'll pick it. Yeah, a little cinnamon flavor. Yeah, just ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it may be stronger at other times
Maybe
of
at
day.
like
but
night
those right now are very popular as hanging baskets. And of course, you can see there's one over there. I mean, you can go away for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and even longer, and they come back, give them a drink, and they'll come back.
String of fish hooks, string of pearls, string of dolphins. They're all very popular right now.
Yeah.
This is one that I recently got from you because I just love how spiky. It's like a little porcupine. I just love how spiky it is.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty little plants. I don't know if I've seen this flower yet, but we'll probably get to that. Then we do quite a bit with epiphyllums, hyloceras, those type of plants. You know, the edible ones, which we grow. They're kind of big for the house. Yeah. You know.
But it's the bloom that, and you specialize in all these different types of blooms, right?
Right. The standard. See, we have them all here. These are all of our mother plants that we harvest cuttings off of. Those are great house plants. Of course, the trick to them is to dry them out. Like, stop watering them right now and try to get them in as cool a spot as possible. And you do not water them until they bud, which is really hard to do because they're up there going, please give me some water, and you're stressing them. But as soon as the bud forms and you let it grow a little bit, then you can water them and they come on so that they flower in the springtime. And you know, they've done a lot of breeding with that, so there's some really awesome colors. The only downside to the whole thing is that they don't last very long. It's like 2 days.
Max.
2 days out. Yeah.
So you have to really like the foliage, I guess, at the end of the day, or
Well, actually, big plants can put on a show for quite 2 or 3 weeks if you get really large plants of it. Yeah, this is Oxypetalum, the night blooming cereus, which we have. Everybody's got a big old plant of that in their house. Yeah.
I love that you have a papaya growing right here.
Yeah, this papaya came to us from seed, and we're always trialing papayas. The problem with papayas, as you can see, they turn into very large trees. Yeah. And
you're hoping for that one container plant papaya, huh?
What's that?
You're hoping for
we
that
do
one
have them.
container,
TR Hovey is a great one. Even some of the Tang Nung, which is a commercial papaya, is actually will fruit. Well, TR Hovey begins fruiting at about this height. The Tang Nung will be up here. This one didn't start until we got up to there. And I'm not sure why I kept it that long, but I really, after going through all that time, I wanted to see what it could do. And the fruit is actually really good. Yeah. I don't think we'll ever go into production on it, though. But it is kind of a cool plant. It's like, it's in that little tiny pot.
Tiny pot, for how big it is.
Stem, and it was outside all summer. We dropped some of its foliage, I think, and maybe some of that got pulled off as they brought it in. Yeah. And this is an interesting plant. It has nothing to do with succulents, but this is Muntingia calabora, which is the Jamaican cherry. And it's a wonderful edible. It kind of tastes like cotton candy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
That is definitely cotton candy, all written all over it.
And a great container plant, you can see it. And
Got so many, these are little seeds, like
yeah,
what is that? Wow.
yeah, the seeds. And you can
little
see the
seeds.
fruit on it. So in Florida,
My goodness.
where this originally came from, they have these plants, they'll grow 12 feet, 15 feet in a year. They
Yeah.
sucker right out of the ground and go up really high. And the fellow I bought it from says, you'll never grow that in a pot. He says, how are you going to contain it?
Yeah.
The thing is when you keep it in a little pot like that, it can't go that far.
Yeah.
The dryness,
small.
everything, we do prune it back
Yeah.
periodically. So it actually made a great container plant, and usually we winter it over in here. This will eventually stop. It's pretty much done flowering, yeah. There's no more buds coming.
Yeah.
So this is the crop for the year. It's been going since July. They started ripening, so from now until July is the crop. And then it sits here, and then in the springtime, when it gets warm, we set it outside and it flushes out and gets going again. In here, because this is a succulent house, everything gets dried out quite a bit, so it contains it. Yeah, so this is an interesting plant from Africa, which is Operculus carrion. And it has, there's a large one at the end, maybe we'll take a few photos of that.
Yeah.
But it has this like long,
It's got this rumply.
yeah, it's got this
kind of,
lumpy bark.
Yeah.
You can see it right down in here.
Yeah.
And they actually get to be fairly good sized trees, but they're great container plants in that you hold them in tight pots and you trim them a little bit and they literally stay wherever you want them. And yet they'll still make this lumpy stem. And I've never seen them flower.
Yeah.
They're propagated by either seed or cutting, and tolerant of very, very long periods of dryness. So
They look like they could be put through the ringer, that's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going dormant now. So in the summertime when we give them more water, you can see these long leaves have
Yeah.
grown out of it. And generally we trim that back, encouraging this stem. This is actually some of our mother plants that we take our cuttings off of.
You got some Schlumbergeras here?
Yeah, so the Christmas cactus, Easter cactus is a
Yeah.
Christmas cactus. They're pretty popular, and we have a few varieties that are not able to be bought in the wholesale trade. We do bring them in. Usually we don't hold stock of these, but these are plants that we're growing ourselves because nobody else has them.
And some ficus.
Yeah, this is Petiolaris, which is a really cool ficus in that it forms this caudex.
It actually goes on rocks, right? Does it form, like, kind of actually grow on rocks in the wild, do you know?
It grows in pretty barren places
Yeah.
with thin soil, yes,
Yeah.
that I know. And it's an excellent plant for a bonsai container because this caudex will form no matter what, and you can easily trim it and train it. I have a couple really old ones that
Yeah.
I've had for years and years, and they stay in, 6-inch bonsai pots, and they're still in them. And they foliate. They actually have a dormancy, so they drop a lot of leaves in the wintertime. But it's a plant where you'll have this for decades if you start growing it.
Now, not all plants that you take cuttings from will form a caudex, but is this one that you could take a stem
I
cutting
don't
and will
believe so.
eventually?
I think it has to be done by seed.
Seed, okay.
Yeah.
So you have to grow all these
This
by
is all
seed
done
in
by
or-
seed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little tricky. This is actually bought-in material where we buy the young seedlings in because somebody has the male and the female.
I see.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we really don't. I've never grown them big enough that they've flowered here at Logee's, so it's something that's probably still in the wild, and they're collecting seed from it.
Here we're going through all the Senecio.
Yeah, there's Ralliants, the
Yeah.
bead plant. Yeah, that's been a standby for.
People have trouble with this one. Do you
Really?
do you have any, I think what happens is people stick them in the window, they might go bare on top because maybe they're not getting any top-down light, and so they look a little bare, and then they lose their beads, but they get their beads down below. Or maybe there's overwatering, I'm not quite sure, but I haven't had so much challenge with them, but it doesn't seem
I
like
don't
you've
know.
had
I
any
can't say
problem.
that I've ever seen that in our culture here.
And here's your little string of dolphins. Right here, little
Yep.
string of dolphins,
Yep.
which is a nice little hybrid.
Yeah. So they can get sunburned. That's happened, and that will take out your top. And it could be a light issue also. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Yeah, they're really plants that want to be, like all succulents, dried down between waterings so that they kind of get hard, and actually under good light they can actually get some red in them. This is we have shade here.
Yeah, shade cloth here.
Yeah, shade cloth. Yeah, the Trichodina densum is really a great plant, and it's so slow. There's really nobody growing this, so
Yeah.
we have to do it by cutting. And you see, these plants here, which are shipped, are at least September. That'll be a year, but they're probably a year or more. That was probably potted from a plug
Wow.
into that a year ago. So,
Wow.
so we probably have
Slow.
almost 2 years on them.
Yeah.
But what they do is, if you're really one of the bonsai people and
Yeah.
fans of it, you can take this and underneath and bare that, and there's this big, thick cortex. And so what happens is you take that, shake the soil
Yeah.
off, lift it up, and you can get this huge cortex that forms, and then these become this sort of flat top mound.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about this plant is it flowers. And when it flowers, it's purple, and it's just like outrageous the amount of blooms you can get out
And
of
are
it.
they big flowers comparatively to
No,
the
they're probably
plant?
about yay big, about
Okay,
as big
but
as
that's still big
a
for the-
nickel.
yeah.
But it
Oh, and-
really, you can see there's some old flower
Yeah.
scapes on it. It really is quite a show and quite easy to,
Your stapeliads are actually in flower right
yeah,
now.
yeah. So it's probably a. Remember the name of it?
Let's see if they have any kind of rank smell or anything.
Yeah, they probably do.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. That one
Yeah.
was like I put that right up to my nose.
Yeah.
That was pretty rank.
I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's pretty.
Ooh.
Yeah, that smells bad.
Yeah, that smells bad.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, most of them do. A cute
Yeah.
little thing, though.
Yes, it's supposed to smell a little bit like rotten meat or corpse, and it actually attracts some of the flies down there to actually pollinate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of these are your mother plants.
Well,
here,
this is
or-
just a mishmash of
Yeah.
everything that gets accumulated that never went into production or
Right.
was in production once and is fallen out.
Haworthia truncata right
yeah.
here. I always love that
Yeah,
one.
they're really hard to
Yeah.
reproduce though,
Yeah.
in any volume.
And you probably have to do it by seed, I'd imagine.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Pachypodium here, which I actually, it's kind of cool.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
It kind of reminds me of Jabba the Hutt, you know, just kind of
Yeah.
the way it's like.
Yeah.
And some Euphorbia
Euphorbias.
terricala, the pencil sticks or fire sticks. This looks like a peperomia ferrari or something like that.
It actually might be.
Yeah.
It's really
It's
a,
like one of the succulent peperomias. Look how white that is. It's like that. Is it agave?
I don't think it is, no.
Oh wow, that is like really like powdery white. Some
Yeah.
more stapelia. This one's getting like crystate. Or
Yeah, it is.
monstrose.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, that is pretty neat.
It flowers. There was a bunch of these that came in quite a few years ago,
Yeah.
and these are what we have of them. Problem with material like this is it's so slow. Mm-hmm. Like it's getting to the point where we could probably start taking cuttings and
Yeah.
reproducing it, but
Yeah.
we really got to take time to build the
Yeah.
stock plants up.
Some copper spoons, Kalanchoe origialis. There's some more of
That's
your
it.
pregnant onions
Yeah.
or healing onions.
Yeah, albuca or
Yeah.
ornithogum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it does if you grow it as a succulent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then this is a euphorbia.
Euphorbia,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is like one of those smoke bush. Is
Yeah,
that type
that's
of smoke
it.
bush?
You know, plant is pretty easy to grow, and the color on that isn't that great. If you give it a really a lot of sun,
Yeah.
it gets a lot more red in it.
This is another Kalanchoe tomentosa. It's a nice fuzzy one
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, it looks like it had a flower spike on it.
Yep.
File back.
Here's your string of dolphins right here, jumping up out of the water.
Yeah, Citriformis. Yeah,
Oh, these are cool because I like the little shape of the.
yeah.
Of the
They're very
leaves.
popular right now, and unfortunately not growing fast enough
Mm-hmm.
for us to keep up with the demand.
Do those smell as well? A little cinnamon?
Nope, I don't smell.
It has some smell, but it's nothing. It's definitely like. No, I definitely smell something. But it's more like bitter, like a dandelion or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then your lithops here,
Lithops,
which
yeah.
are actually in bloom.
Here we have a few
Nice
flowers.
to see.
So that's a plant that if you don't like watering plants, you need to get one of these.
Yeah, it's true. I actually have to tell you, I have some growing in my southwest, and I also have some growing in my northeast. Both growing really great. In northeast, I'm really surprised by.
Right in the window, though.
Right in the window. Yeah, right in the window. They're almost like to the point that they're popping out of there's so many of them now that they're popping out of their little container.
That's very cool. But dryness is the key. Yeah.
Ceropegia, I'm sorry, I love Ceropegia.
Yeah, this is probably Sandersi, and it puts out the very large parachute flower on it. It's probably about 2 inches tall and maybe 1 inch across. Yeah, usually summertime. It looks like these have probably been growing a little bit too dry. If you
Yeah.
put more moisture on them, they'll hold their foliage and get pretty vigorous.
This is a type of jungle cactus as well.
Yeah.
Hediora or
Hetoria,
Salicornia.
yeah.
Hetoria, yeah.
Yep.
And then bear paw looks like a variegated version. That's what the common name is, but Coletodon, I think it's called, or bear paws, which are
that's a pretty
nice.
thing.
Yeah, it is.
And it got a lot of vigor to it.
That's pretty good. I
Yeah.
mean, this is a nice little overview of the Succulent House here at Logee's, and there's obviously so much more to see and so much under the bench. I mean, I love under the bench. I need to do a whole episode on like what's under the bench. But thank you so much. This has been great.
Great.
Are there any succulent plants that really resonated with you or that you've already been growing? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more of this content and see the channel grow, then click on the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell while you're at it so you can be informed when the next episode launches. Don't forget that there are lots of great ways to gain more plant insights through Homestead Brooklyn while supporting the channel. Check out my book, How to Make a Plant Love You, the Houseplant Care Spreadsheets, the Houseplant Masterclass, or you can even become a sustaining member of the channel for the price of a cup of coffee every month. Information is up on homesteadbrooklyn.com and in the description below.